Attention! Order in the court. Today's proceedings finds the people versus James McGill.
Legal troubles got you down. Inheritance coming up short. Scammers getting the last laugh. Drug lords still in your future. Well, where there's a will, there's a way. Because he'll get your case dismissed. He'll fight for you. He'll get you the defense you deserve. But only if you say the words.
Oh no, I need legal representation. Whatever shall I do? What do I say? Oh wait, I know. Better call Saul. Oh yeah, only the world's second best lawyer, keeping things realistic. All right. So, without further ado, it's time to start judging Saul. Court is now in session.
You will atone.
All right, BlueDragonFive. Don't have a ton of time to get to it, so let's just jump right in. What do we see from Better Call Saul?
Well, tonight's
Season
episode.
2, Episode 2, entitled Cobbler. Oh dear. Oh dear. We got a pie, folks. We got a pie. Just wait. Just wait.
Real quick, because it wasn't mentioned, we don't have names for next week. I'll just mention the names we do have this week. Terry McDonough, or McDonough, however you want to pronounce it. He is director of this episode, director of episodes like the original Better Call Saul episode, Bug, Nacho from last season.
Okay.
Better Call Saul. And writer was Jenny Hutchinson, very excellent writer. She wrote Bingo, Hero, Salute, and Buyout.
Oh, Salute's really good. All right.
And Confessions.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Confessions. Oh my God.
So with those out of the way, just kind of giving listing off a few credits to their names. Let's get into the episode. So we start off with a metronome being set up with sheet music at a piano, and it's Chuck. Reveal.
Oh yeah. I have some insight into this song. The song that Chuck is playing on the piano.
Yeah, that name on the top, is that just like the artist that wrote it, or do you think it's actually a reference to someone we're going to see?
It is the artist who wrote it, but the song itself is conducted to be about a brother who murders another brother because the other brother stole his lover.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Now, I think in this case, Chuck's lover is the law.
Yes.
So I symbolism all over that one.
Wow. And also you'll notice in the shots, you see like a picture of young Chuck and young Jimmy in the foreground, with Chuck alone in the background. And so much symbolism, of course, it's coming out of the show's ears. We see Chuck basically auditions for Schroeder beautifully.
Oh God, he would make a wonderful Schroeder.
Yeah, and seriously, the way I think you called a large portion of the Tiki, where he's playing it very kind of at least the show is playing it very Machiavellian and foreboding, villainish tone at the beginning of the season.
I want to say that Tuco is probably going to be the more dangerous threat as we get closer and closer through the season, but I think Chuck is definitely the personal antagonist of this.
Exactly.
season.
At the very least, they're starting them out definitely as kind of like they're playing into the Chuck hate, because they're very aware of how much fans have turned on Chuck.
Okay.
And I love the little mirror bit just showing you Chuck's kind of a mirror of his former self.
Oh yeah.
He's still thrown off a little by the end though. So as he's playing, he's still a little off because he's. The thing they're getting at with Chuck is that Chuck sees he wanted Jimmy in his perfect world just still like under the influence of I'm still loyal to my brother. I bring him groceries. I bring him all that stuff. And now that he's off, and now Jimmy's not in his life, he's still feeling a little off. So it's a question of how much of that is just out of genuine humanity, how much of that is out of still I want my lackey back. I want order in my perfect world.
There's like a lot of layers going on with Chuck. I mean, I want to say it. At the bottom of his heart, he is sympathetic towards his brother. However, he still has that famous line, slipping Jimmy with a law degree is like a monkey with a machine gun or a chainsaw or whatever.
A chimp with a machine gun.
Right. So it's like he genuinely cares for his brother. He just wants his brother to have nothing to do with the legal profession.
What I think is really interesting with the next character is about to appear is that I think Chuck in some ways is kind of like Hamlin in that you don't know how much he is on one side or another.
Totally, totally.
Not on the same level, because Hamlin just played that perfectly in the first season. But also, I'm just saying that they're kind of starting Chuck out on that path of, well, you don't know quite what his end game is. So Hamlin stops by, speaking of which, with groceries and the check-in, much to Chuck's surprise, because he expects Ernie, not the son of Gus Fring, for those who may be
no, not that Ernie.
No, but still, it's the same Ernie, but not the Gus Fring son, because that doesn't exist. So Chuck considers, he tells Howard that he's considering coming in for an hour or two, which, it's kind of baby steps for Chuck, who's kind of owning the business, trying to get out there. He says, how's Ernesto working out? I love this, though. This is setting up an idea at the end of last season that Chuck's still, villain or not, he's still getting a little full of himself, because Ernesto gets one thing wrong, and he just, well, it's good, but, it could be perfect.
Oh, God, and trust me, as someone going through college right now, I totally hate that kind of thinking, that kind of criticism. Anyways.
Again, most because it's like, how's Ernesto working out? Well, he's fine for the most part.
He's fine. He's fine. He could be better. He's not perfect, but he's fine.
Yeah, he says for the most part. That's the way he specifically says, like, Ernesto's fine for the most part, implying that, he's just doing these little things that bug me, but, I'll take it.
Screw you, Chuck. Screw you.
Yeah. It's much better than the more rhymey name he has, but let's not share that. Anyway, so he asks about. So Chuck's asking about the Sandpiper case. He asks about Jimmy. How's Jimmy doing? Hamlin essentially, in this opportunity, he breaks the news to Chuck about Jimmy and the Davis and Maine job, which surprises Chuck. He's absolutely floored by. He tries to keep it under the surface as much as he can. He's surprised that Maine, of all people, would take Jimmy.
Right.
Yeah, but then I love the Hamlin introducing some logic of our plot here. It makes absolute sense why Maine would want to hire Jimmy, why he was so willing to take him when he came back at the end of last episode, which was kind of like a lingering question of like, well, he did turn him down after all, but he's a nice guy. But there's actually a logical reason to it. He says so many of the Sandpiper folks brought Jimmy up whenever they were questioned about it, like, oh yeah, that Jimmy McGill, and we like Jimmy. He says, yeah, old people, they love him.
Oh yeah, and Chuck, of course, very envious of this. It just gets under his skin.
Yes, and absolutely, Tiki, because of that, basically he would be a great asset to the case of having a lawyer they're all familiar with, someone they can trust, and no red tape to cut through it all, because it's Jimmy McGill. So let's see. So just trying to think. For the most part.
Well, Chuck is just stunned at this point. He's just kind of like speechless and just trying really hard to like hold back his jealous rage, I want to say. Howard mentioned that Kim Wexler pushed very hard on it.
I love the subtle conversation that's going on through this, by the way. It's that right after Hamlin says, they gave him it took a little convincing for them, but they gave him a chance. And what's underlying and going on here is that it's this weird, really powerful conversation. It lets you read in the Howard Hamlin's performance when you think about it. It's like Chuck saying emotionally, without saying in so many words, they took him from me. He lucked his way into it. He lucked his way into this cushy job yet again throughout my life. Jimmy, American Samoa, come on. That sort of mentality.
What do you have against? I don't know. Chuck is just really rubbing you.
That's what I'm saying. Saying Chuck. Remember, it's like Chuck's ego is just overrun. He's not saying these things, but emotionally he's feeling this. That they took him. He lucked his way into yet another job. He's slipping Jimmy with a chimp with a machine gun mentality. And Howard Hamlin subtly in the scene with all the points he's making of like how Jimmy got the job is he's subtly saying, no, he earned the chance that you denied him.
Everything that Howard's saying.
Yeah, specifically, he earned the chance that you denied him.
Of course,
Chuck.
Of course.
That's why he actually earned this. And, friend, I love the subtle line. Well, it worked for continuity.
Yeah.
I told him everything. I didn't pull any punches. Kim Wexler pushed for this. I just didn't stand in the way, which is like the subtle rebellion of like, I didn't stand in the way like you would want me to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
But again, he's still playing both sides, though. He's like he knows like he didn't like obscure any details that would tick Chuck off. Though he didn't pull punches, but he likes Jimmy's rooting for him. I love the use of shadow and framing in the scene too. Just
the shadow is just absolutely it kills it. This scene for sure.
Oh, it's great. Again, they're using that. What they do to get the room looking like is they put smoke machines in the room to make it look all kind of nice.
That's cool.
So let's see, he also makes like emphasizes no pressure on you coming in, no pressure. It's like subtly he doesn't want him to be there, but it's like no pressure if you when you want to come in. Then we see Chuck. This is great. It's like a classic little nod to a Breaking Bad opening here. Well, not specific nod, but it's like it feels so Breaking Bad.
No, you're right. It absolutely feels Breaking Bad-esque in its delivery for sure.
Chuck sets up the metronome yet again, and he's looking as it's going. He's like, there's a moment of pause. Just looks at you. You see, he's looking very sinister. Like, I know what I have to do now. It's like here's like click, 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 as if Jimmy is like that sound right now is like less just I'm in my own methodical thing, just doing what I do, and he's hearing, it's click, click, click. It's Jimmy laughing at him. Ha, 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 ha. You were not good for season. Something like that. Sorry, not melodic. I know. Sorry. Moving on. So interestingly, we get the same exact. It's gonna be interesting going forward from this point because we have.
I'm pretty sure we're going for just a repeat of the intros from season 1 at this point.
Yeah, I mean the only thematic thing with this one is that they have a changing car, which might explain why the car is in this one particularly. But
right.
We'll see how it goes. But it's looking like they're using the exact same openings.
Okay.
So Kim arrives first at the HHM conference room for the big meeting with the lights and the Danishes. We'll call that season.
Of course.
And this bit I love. Man, Kim Wexler was still doing it for me so well this episode. Oh my god, I loved it. This bit to me I love my reaction to this bit. She just adorably switches Francis Chef's chef or chefs, whatever his name is, with James McGill, and puts Jimmy next to her, and I think, oh my god, it's like so grade school. It's like so grade school adorable. It's like, oh, she has such a crush on Jimmy. It's adorable. And then during the document review again, I love this is such a well directed sequence. It hit on all cylinders for me. I loved it. During the document reviews, as the things drawing on, we cut to we see Jimmy and Kim on the surface on top of the desert, listening intently. Yeah, legal stuff. Yeah. But as you pan down below the desk, you see this adorable thing. It was James, his foot's there, and then Kim Webster's foot cuddles up next to Jimmy's foot.
I want to say that I want to say Tarantino directed this scene.
Yeah, but it's not sexual at all. It's adorable.
No.
It's like it's this little foot's it's cuddling up to this other foot. It's adorable. Anyways, then we have a classic homage to the parking garage scene. Now with all the tension we have between Kim and Jimmy, we have kind of like the emphasis put on the smoke in the air.
Sure.
So she's very happy with Jimmy. Again, he's following the advice that she gave him last episode. Why don't you just go try Davis tonight, see what happens? And she's praising him, saying, "Oh man, it's going well for you."
And Jimmy, he's just speechless about the whole thing. He says, the job's very cushy. He's talking about wanting to get a place between Santa Fe and Albuquerque.
And they both say it simultaneously, Corrales.
Corrales, yeah.
Anyways, they're talking about bungalow open floor plan.
We never saw Saul's house in Breaking Bad, so it would be great if within the Breaking Bad timeline he was living in Corrales.
Yeah, and well, don't rule anything out. There's a chance.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I also I love the mention of Chi because he's the Chi machine. Throwing that out there.
Right.
Now here's the question to you: do you think they were, as the scene goes on, do you think they're genuinely suggesting? I don't know how Corrales is, I've never heard of Corrales before this episode, so I'm wondering if they actually was like an open field and all that stuff, or they just like joking with each other, like, oh yeah, you get horses, and you can get like, because they mentioned like getting horses wide open range and have a wine.
Well, I know New Mexico in general is pretty wide open, so.
I mean, could they have like, does horses sound like a joke, or does it sound like an actual suggestion to you?
It sounds like a very girlish suggestion to me, and I think she was kind of like half joking with it.
Yeah, and then she gets a little serious towards the end. She says, wine on the back patio, and I love this. She says, we gotta get a smoker for barbecues. Again, the we on there is like saying, again, so adorable. She's planning out like a little grade school. They're like school children. It's adorable. She's she's suggesting we can start our life together. We can have like 8 babies, that sort of thing. So it's adorable.
Okay, so Jimmy mentions he's got to have his company car delivered to the salon.
Yes, which he's very jokingly jealous of.
Oh, Jeeves, where's my solid gold rim? No, not that one, the other one.
She presents him with a gift.
Oh, yeah, which
is a coffee cup.
Well, technically it's a thermostat, but it's presented to you in this fashion as a coffee cup.
World's second best lawyer, which was awesome, by the way, and it communicates volumes too. Again, symbolism coming out of the show's ears, folks.
Oh my God, absolutely, and we're gonna get some major symbolism with it a little later on.
I know that means in a few minutes you're gonna have like a big old symbolic thing,
like a big old like Matthew Buck symbolism freak out.
but seriously, this world, I love this world's second best lawyer thing because it's a gag gift, but it's also saying, well, it's the truth. You're second to me.
Sure.
But it's a joke. But of course, what it symbolizes with the Saul character is that he is kind of especially with Chuck being factored into the story now. It's like you are a second. You're like a second best lawyer. Is that you're good, but you'll never be in the big leagues. But actually, he's good enough to get his own mug. Let's not forget that fact.
Oh God.
And even and importantly, with some symbolism here is the first part of the second part we're hyping up. He puts the thermos into the cup holder, and it fits perfectly in the esteemed car, which is a second best lawyer type car. And again, it's just symbolizing this is a perfect fit for Jimmy. He's kind of a second grade lawyer, but he's a good second grade lawyer. He's comfy and everything's working out for him.
Sure.
And he's endearing. We love this little esteemed car and all that stuff. They have a little kiss, and they say, "We'll see you tonight. Play your cards." Right, a little kiss, and then move on to the salon. The salon's clamoring. All the participants.
I'm gonna miss the salon.
Oh, they'll be back. They'll be back. It's fine.
Maybe. I'm not sure exactly how much.
Yeah. Well, they're not done with the salon. I'll bet you that.
I don't know. I kind of tend to disagree there.
Well, eventually he'll have to show that he either owns it or has some sort of ties to it with Breaking Bad. So he will eventually be back at the salon.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, regardless, we see this scene was a little sad to me. The esteem sadly goes away.
Yes.
It was a fun car. Again, I'm with Vince Gilligan. I do hope that esteem does end up next to the Breaking Bad car in the car museum.
Right.
So the esteem sadly goes away, and he says hello to his new Mercedes. I think it's a Mercedes.
It's a Mercedes, yeah.
Good. 2002 Mercedes. Mrs. Nguyen, this was a bit here. Now, Tiki, tell me if I'm crazy. I think Mrs. Nguyen is masking some sadness that she doesn't want to see him go.
I think you might be onto something.
Am I crazy about that?
No. I could see that. Oh God.
It's like he says, hug or come out and see the car or something. And she says, nah. She just waves him off. But I don't know, it's a little bit of sad there. I sensed a little bit of you masking, I hope he comes back.
And then he just says, till we meet again, which to me, I took it as till we meet again in Breaking Bad.
Again, he has to buy and or show you a stock in the place at some point. We'll see it again. Don't worry.
Yeah, fair enough.
And again, I want him to patch things up with Mrs. Nguyen. I want her to come back. I want her to come back. I felt some unresolved things. It's like she has a fondness for him. That's why she would come in on the nail salon. There has to be a story there.
And our brilliant bit of symbolism is...
Oh, yeah, I love this. The metric gag.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in the car. He's in the new Mercedes, looking all nice. He puts the thermos in there. It doesn't fit. And we get this fantastic shot. Seriously, great shot from below in the cup holder where he's trying to put it in. It's such a realistic thing. We've all done this.
Mm.
But seriously, it's symbolizing, it's not a perfect fit. And Jimmy knows, because of course, we know the Saul Goodman he's not Saul Goodman yet. And he's not Jimmy McGill at this point with this lifestyle he's putting on for himself. So again, it is metric. It's not fitting right.
Symbolism!
Seriously, one of the best symbolic things in the series so far, possibly.
Oh yeah.
But again, so much communicated with just a cup holder. Can you imagine just telling me before this episode, or me telling you, says, "Oh yeah, well, most symbolic thing you're ever gonna see in the show is gonna involve a cup holder."
Right.
Point is, really great shot, really well done, communicates volumes. Moving on to really fantastic. I'm sure you appreciate this.
I had a lot of trouble finding a car with a cup holder that specifically could fit that. I wonder if that was an issue. Anyways.
Well, they do tons of research.
Okay, so we got Mike in the toll booth, and explain to folks our "We Love Mike" thing and the jig while I turn the camera.
So, folks, as you know, we adore the wonderful, the incomparable Mike Ehrmantraut, played by the ever so, even infinitely more lovable Jonathan Banks. Because, oh my God, this guy is such a fantastic actor. You're going to see him just like, he carries his own series. He carried 9 of his own series, and that's really good. Because he's that good. He's so compelling. I would watch like 3 detective series starring Jonathan Banks and like maybe 3 romantic comedies. The guy is aces. We love him, and we love Mike Ehrmantraut character, everything he represents. But I'm just killing time at this point. Point is, folks, what we like to do with this chart here is just show that we love Mike, and each episode is a reminder of that fact over and over again. So hopefully, get some of that we love Mike out. So I just kind of get like a tenth of that out of our system. We just want to express that visually in some way. So we're on episode 2 right now of this season, of the 10-episode season. So we put a little We Heart Mike heart right there. It's in February. I know it's past Valentine's Day, it's past Deadpool, but we want to put a little bit of We Heart Mike in there, And there you go.
Okay, what's going on with Mike?
We love him. So here's what's going on with Mike. Mike has a Jurassic Park moment where he's in the toll booth and there's and he knows his coffee is reverberating or vibrating like the water in Jurassic Park.
Yes.
And he's wondering what's up with that. And then it's revealed to be Price.
Oh boy.
Price in this scene was just hilarious. By the way, just Price pulls up in the giant.
I think
Hummer.
Price has like cemented himself in Breaking Bad lore at this point.
Price is very hilarious. He happens by and he has this fantastic meeting with Mike when he says, "Oh hey, small world." Just the idea.
Why are you here? I work here.
Just the idea that he didn't like do this to intimidate him or like to meet with him stupidly. He's just like, "Oh hey, I know who
Right.
Just it's so innocent. And then him asking the ultimate question. Oh, this is the police parking lot, right? But then the obvious question following that: do they validate? Just him, of course, with all the gags we got in the first season. Do they validate?
Right.
All the copious sticker gags. Do they validate? This guy's. This is why don't you just pull? I love this though. He goes to all the stuff with Jimmy constantly. This one time, all the stuff with Jimmy. So stickers. But this one time, this guy says, "Do you validate? Just pull over here. You don't have to pay for it. Don't worry about the stickers." Oh my God.
Why don't you pull around over there? We'll talk a little bit.
We'll have a little talk. Talk. Oh my God, we love Jonathan Banks. But he tells, so Price tells Mike that he was robbed, and he's talked to the cops. He didn't mention the pills. He thinks he's playing it all smart, like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'm just."
He thinks he's like this super suave Walter White criminal. Yeah.
Yes. He thinks he can just like
because in his own mind, I think he is Walter White. I think he is kind of like the height of his powers, Heisenberg in his own mind.
He thinks he's going to walk into the police station and essentially wine and dine the cops and like put like a little listening device on their computer, like a little tracking device on the computer. That's what he thinks he's going to do. But he's in no way capable of doing any of that. So the point is like, I didn't mention the pills, and he mentions, "Well, I don't really care about the pills. What I care about are my baseball cards."
And then Mike just gives the most.
Again,
words can't even describe Jonathan Banks' look when he just like turns his head around and he's just like, "Really? Really?"
I'm just saying, melt down all of Anna Gunn's Emmys, make it one giant Emmy for Jonathan Banks. Just one for all his services, Mike Ehrmantraut. Just make him like a lawn-sized Emmy.
Or maybe you could like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs Oscar, where you have like 7 little Emmys and 1 big Emmy.
No, I'm saying all the Emmys look like Mike Ehrmantraut, though.
Oh God, of course.
In various poses, like one's reading, one's at the bar, one has.
What would be the big one?
The big one would be. You know what the big one would be? The big one would be adorable. The big one would be him pushing Kaylee on the swing.
No. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so. Mike Love aside, well, it's going to be very hard to do, but just go with this on. Mike points out, this in just utter disbelief. This guy is the dumbest MF.
I shouldn't be surprised that I have to tell you this, but it's probably a bad idea that you willingly talk to the police.
you being a criminal and all. Again, we aren't doing Jonathan Banks a lick of justice because this episode he was doing 1,000% of a good job. He was. You're here. No, I'm here as a crime victim.
Oh God! And then he has like one of the most hypocritical fucking lines I've ever heard.
What? I have no right to protection from a crime?
Just because I sell pharmaceuticals on the side doesn't mean I have protection of. Doesn't mean I don't have the right to get service of the police when I'm wronged. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like exactly what it means.
He says I was careful. They have no idea about the business. And Mike's point again, he's a Philly cop. He knows how the police reports because he's very educated on the subject. So we know Mike is absolutely the guy you want to talk to about this sort of stuff. He points out.
Price just mentions like, they just want to ask me like some very basic follow-ups on the report. They're very dedicated to finding the thief.
If they took a report, why are you here? And basically, look, I'm going to give you some advice because you're new at this whole criminal thing. You're going on a fishing trip. Fishing trip? What it was? I mean, they have no one. Those police officers have no interest. Those detectives have no interest in getting your cards back. You're under suspicion. Let's see. It says nothing.
I refer you back to our previous conversation. The blinking neon light of a sign of that car that says drug dealer.
It says I'm a drug. That says I'm a drug dealer. They suspect you.
They'll get you in there, lure you into a false sense of security, act like they're your friend, and then they will break you.
They will sweat you.
Mm-hmm. But I have an appointment.
You go home now. You don't answer the phone when they call.
Oh, yeah.
He says, what about my, let's see. Was he asking about the cards?
What
about my cards? Yeah. What about my baseball cards? It costs to doing business. No. What he said?
No. I will get those back.
It's too much of a risk. He says, I will take a risk. No, that puts me at risk.
But some of those cards were my dad's.
Okay, now when this moment happens, so let's just talk about this for a bit here. So, one, when he just said no, is I love Mike Orange's like this guy. I'm explaining to him the alphabet here. This guy is not picking up on any of this.
Right.
It's like I'm teaching the alphabet to a kid with headphones on right now. That's what it is. But no, but seriously though, this moment here when he says some of them were my dad's. Now, Tiki, you might think I'm insane here. I'm going to make an odd observation here. So just go with me on this. Give me benefit of the doubt here. I think on some level deep down, Mike sympathizes with him because he lost his son.
No, I totally think you're onto that. I definitely think that Mike views this kid as like not necessarily like a father-son dynamic, but he's like, well, he's young and stupid, and I have sympathy for the young and stupid type.
Which we know is true with Jesse Pinkman, which actually paid out. Now, I'm gonna make a really bold observation. You can tell me if I'm crazy when we get to Nacho. I'm gonna say that you might have, and this is gonna sound crazy, the three sons of Mike Ehrmantraut symbolically.
Okay.
And you have Price, Jesse Pinkman, and Nacho Varga in many ways are kind of like the trainees, or at least kind of the apprentices, kind of the three Robins of Jonathan Banks, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
You have the basically three criminal molds, and you see how each one panned out. You have Price, who's just the idiot's son. He's like the Fredo. He's the Fredo. You have like a Godfather is the better comparison. He's the Fredo. You have Nacho, who's the Sonny, who's like he's probably tailor-made for the business. And of course, the one that is unsuspectingly is like I don't have any faith in this kid. But in the end, he's going like I want to keep him away from this sort of stuff. And in the end, he turns out to be the best. Would be Jesse Pinkman would be the Michael Corleone.
Mm-hmm.
Am I crazy with that comparison? Do we see any?
I think you went over my head a little bit, but you're fine. You're fine. Let's just move on.
Okay.
Okay. So Mike offers to get them back for Price, and Price is like, "Oh, that's so generous. Is that something you do?"
No, it's going to cost you. He says, "Oh, this love like a little hopefulness in his voice, like, yo, you're going to help me." He says, "No, it's going to cost you."
Right.
And he says, "Okay, well, I guess we should discuss some sort of financial arrangement." He leaves mid-sentence. Okay,
he basically pulls a bad exit.
Yeah, but again, I love Mike Orange's so cool. He can pull a bad exit in full view, and it's still has all the mystique and mystery of it.
Right.
But again, I think on some level, I think deep down, it's like Mike Ehrenshaw, he does view kind of like, I kind of admire how much this guy's honoring his father, which I think my son would do for me.
Okay, so Jimmy's writing some notes, and he's kind of bored wandering through the office. And is this Davis or Maine that he meets up
Well, he's
with?
got his fancy Davis and Maine pen. He hears music and he follows it, and he happens into Maine's office. It's Maine's office.
Okay. Maine's playing a guitar, just blowing off some steam. This actor, by the way, was in Spinal Tap, so I think that's kind of awesome that they have him with the guitar.
This is my guy. This is Ed Begley Jr.
Of course, yeah.
He's blowing off steam, and he has mentioned it's what lawyers do, and it's kind of like Saul and his chi machine in Breaking Bad. Is that they blow off steam?
Definitely.
I tried playing guitar in school, in high school, and then I realized there are easier ways to get girls, which is kind of a shortcut, which is a little bit kind of representative of Saul Goodman, to always taking the shortcut. Okay,
so Jimmy's saying like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Says, I'm happy to be here. Jimmy has how are you doing here? I'm happy to be here. Jimmy has a break in the agreement. Yeah,
you want to explain that, because that kind of went over my head a little bit.
Yeah. I'll summarize it for you. Basically, he has a break in the Sandpiper case. At least in the agreement, Sandpiper may have made essentially the optional financial stuff. I'm just boiling it down here. The optional financial stuff, like basically you check off a box of like saying, well, I want Sandpiper to handle my financial stuff and all that stuff, which of course was the reason for these stuff. Basically saying they made something that was optional mandatory. Something like they could have chosen, they handled their own stuff, but basically they lied on the form and saying, you have to do this, where you should have been able to have the choice.
Sure.
So I think it's simple enough, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Next. So he thinks he's on the Sunny. Oh, you might be on the Sunny, Jimmy. Then we're on our next scene at the name here at
Chop Shop.
A to Z. No, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Chop Shop. It's A to Z Fine Upholstering.
Okay.
The upholsterer's main business. Right.
I'm hoping to get my seats reupholstered. Then Nacho emerges. Oh boy.
Now I love this. Mike just kind of approaching again, playing like the perfect PI detective we know he is. There's this nice, this pleasant-looking Hispanic man, about in his 50s. Walks up there and Mike asks for an estimate for the car, and there's a little bit of language barrier thing, and basically says, "Well, come on, take a look at it." And I love this. Mike's strategical, like a PI. It's a classic PI move. He makes sure to avoid direct contact with Nacho, so he's not instantly on to him. He's like a few steps ahead of him, if you notice. That's why when he leaves the store, like he doesn't get Nacho's way in the back, or he doesn't get quite a good look at him. But you can probably make out who he is, but it's a little distant, so he gets full confirmation when he's out there. It's too late when his father and he are outside. So again, I love the Nacho reveal. Did you see it coming?
Oh yeah, I did see it coming, but mostly because it was in the promo. So,
well, I mean, had you not seen the promo, would you have seen it coming?
Probably, yeah, but it's fine. I mean, I'm not taking points away from it or anything.
I mean, what about the reveal? Like Nacho is this guy's son. Like Nacho, mijo, come on, take a look at the.
Have we even seen this guy before? I didn't really think it was a reveal.
Well, we've never seen this guy before.
Anyways.
Anyway, so Mike smartly stays at. I'm sorry, I meant to mention a few steps there. Here's the old. I want to give the old girl a little. See, I love he doesn't finish too. By the way, Jonathan Banks plays it perfectly. Then they basically through subtitles, and I love that Nacho's kind of the facilitator here, and something that many Breaking Bad fans have pointed out here really cleverly, at least the showrunners, that Nacho is kind of the. One, they have like a great age range of three great actors here. You got like Nacho's in Michael Mandow, he's in his 30s. His father's in his 50s, and John Banks is in his 70s. You got three really great life experiences you got working in the scene. And oddly enough, it's like kind of two patriarch figures in Nacho's life here. A potential one with Mike, I say, and that's the main fuel for my whole Godfather comparison, by the way.
Okay.
Is that they're mentioning the Nacho here? He's got. Basically his crime father figure, and of course his actual father, who seems to be a really nice guy, by the way. I really like the way they play Mr. Varga here. So, basically Mr. Varga here saying, oh, well, your money would be better spent on a new card. Yeah, it feels really chummy. It feels really great. The nice facade they got going on here, not just playing into it. It seems like he seems like a really good son. Like Tuco is with his abuelita. So
Mike keeps on mentioning, like, no, the car's got sentimental value.
He's looking for leather, maybe alligator skin. Oh, too much money, senor, too much money. He says, a little exotic would clash, And I love this. It's such a fatherly thing that it kind of reminds me on some level a little bit like kind of a good camaraderie between like Walter Jr. and Walter White when they had scenes together. Like it feels like a real father-son dynamic where it's like convince him, but don't upsell him. While he leaves to attend to business, he leaves Nacho with Mike, and they don't really talk about those leather samples at all.
No.
They talk about business. Business, to quote Sam Eagle.
Oh yeah.
So Nacho asks how, and I love this. Mike just does showing how cool Mike Ermintrout is. He doesn't give an answer, just scoffs like, how? Okay, why? Baseball cards. Can you imagine this conversation? Just the way this is written, like, this is why baseball cards. That's your answer, which is awesome. He gets away with it.
Now look, I get it. You saw how much of a sinking ship that price guy was, and you decided to drop off. I did the same thing, but we need those baseball cards back.
You underestimated how stupid he was and attached to the cards. He was so attached to those baseball cards, he called the police. It's up. And sorry, it's like he's attached to the baseball cards. He called the police, and now it's an us problem. He says, "Oh no, it more sounds like a you problem. No, it's an us problem." He mentions, well, what we have here is a carrot stick situation. What that means is not a carrot stick situation here. It says I'm not here to threaten your family. As he just says, wonderfully, I'm not doing any justice here. I'm not here to threaten your family. As Nacho thinks, are you threatening me? Basically, the stick in question would be Tuco Salamanca. Tuco Salamanca, which of course is we established early on the Nacho is running this drug business on the side outside of Tuco's purview, which I assume will eventually be broken, and Tuco will find out what he's getting into, and eventually this will lead him to his meth obsession, his meth addiction, which will drive him completely insane. So let's see. If you don't play ball, the way he says play ball, I tell Tuco Salamanca, I prefer the carrot option. Which the carrot option, as Nacho inquires, that details you give me the cards, $10,000, and I net you a good $60,000. And he's asking how. Meanwhile, before we find out how, we see a clock, and I don't know if this is like a clock that's just like him training himself in his sleep of what's going on, or it could be like the clocks don't. Not all clocks have electricity. I don't know. Wait a minute.
No, not all clocks have electricity. Clocks were like around for thousands or hundreds of years before electricity.
I'm saying this particular clock in 2002. I was wondering if it was like an old timey clock.
I don't think it matters.
Fine. So, Chuck's just laying there, he's kind of thinking about stuff. It's morning. Ernie shows up at the foil. We see Chuck dons the foil line suit.
Oh yes, right there. I got it intact.
Yeah, Ernie's asking what's going on.
This whole suit is just totally lined with foil because I'm just that dedicated to my craft.
Yeah. So Ernie's wondering what's going on. Says, we're going somewhere.
Oh yeah.
You going somewhere? Yes, we are. Let's say Price hands over the keys like he's handing over his daughter.
Oh God. Price is just like so over the top sentimental about this fucking Hummer. It's ridiculous.
Yep. He gives him all the sorts of advice, like use the premium gas. I know it's worth it.
It's probably not. I'm willing to bet that it's probably not.
And then you always love Nacho gives like the most.
Does the series is just completely incorrect.
Michael.
We'll get into the baseball cards, but even the way that he's fucking packaging the baseball cards is not the right way to do that. Anyways,
and then you like Michael Mando. He delivers it so heartbreakingly honest. He says, like he feels it's like such a hopeful delivery of such a cruel line.
Right.
Oh, don't worry. I'll make sure they took good care of it at the chop shop.
And of course, it kind of breaks my heart a little bit because it's like Price literally thought he had like some kind of bromance thing going on with Nacho. You know, he's like, "Oh, come on, get in feel the leather seats, jump in there. It totally won't lead to me being robbed."
Yeah, but here's the line that really makes it heartbreaking when he says with the way he insults the car makes it that crushes the bromance completely. He says, "I think I'd be caught dead driving that. It looks like a bus for 60-year-old pimps."
Absolutely crushes the bromance.
Just that's where just like he stomps on the cleats. He just like tap dance with cleats on the bromance.
Oh god.
So bromance stomping aside, Mike wants to move it along. All the cars are accounted for. Mike's paid. The idea was Mike would get paid the $10,000. That's why I asked for $10,000 on the side, which just shows how clever Mike is.
Of course.
He tells, and then not just come here. Our business is done. Is concluded. Our business is concluded.
Very ominous.
The one henchman that drives the car away shows off by making not a donut, but he just like drives off in a float. All this dust is thrown. Mike's going like that. I think an apology is in order. I think before.
Oh god, that killed me. That killed me. I was hoping for an apology.
Before Mike can slap the taste out of this guy's mouth, a phone call comes in.
And the phone call has a "take me out to the ball game" ringtone.
Oh, tell me, who do you think he was asking the apology from?
I think he was wanting an apology from Nacho.
Oh god, just what an idiot! Oh my god! So it's the police again calling, and the baseball thing is pretty funny. So at the meeting, basically everyone's giving a status report on the Sandpiper case, what they found. Basically, they're waiting for subpoenas. They're waiting for subpoenas. Jimmy suggests asking from the source directly, asking the old folks that Jimmy has an in with. So we can ask him directly, and before he can get through, Howard is informed. To get through what saying, Howard is informed that someone's here, and with the one with like a plastic bin, and basically they're all asked to hand in their phones, key fobs, and electronics, and you know what's happening.
This is like a horror setup right here.
Oh yeah, he needs an entrance. He needs a dramatic entrance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that dramatic entrance, it's Chuck is here, much to Jimmy's dismay.
This is kind of a tangent, a little bit of an off tangent, but I had a wonderful idea for a poster for season 2. So it's basically a parody of the Jaws poster, right?
Yeah.
And we see, instead of the woman swimming in the water, we see Jimmy McGill floating in his little, floaty thing on the pool, sipping the drink. And then in the water, superimposed over the shark, we see like just the most ridiculous, over the top looking Saul Goodman in full corrupt lawyer garb, like with his mouth wide open, about to eat the Jimmy McGill in the floaty thing.
That really is a tangent.
You're welcome.
Good, but completely wrong time.
You like it though, right?
I like it though. I'm just saying it's completely wrong time.
The only reason I brought it up is because I was reminded of Jaws in the scene, because it totally, like, Chuck is the Jaws here. It's like, da-da, lights turn out, da-da, da-da, phones get collected, da-da, da-da, da-da. All right, anyways.
Point is, Chuck enters the room and you sense the dread on Jimmy's face, like, oh no.
But then Kim Wexler is like best girlfriend of the year material here.
Let me build this one. I'm sure you can. You and myself, we can definitely identify this. Anyone can identify this moment. Just when Jimmy's picking up where he left off. Okay, just continue on. This Chuck take a seat. Not the head of the other side of the table is like on the side. There's looking in perfect kind of diagonal to Jimmy.
Sure.
Looking at him, and then just Jimmy's continuing, his confidence is thrown off, and he's completely thrown off. Like we will all be if someone really didn't like entered the room, someone we're really nervous or imposed by. Someone we find imposing enters the room. He's like, oh boy, I'm very nervous now. And then you think Jimmy's, oh no, poor Jimmy is going to flounder and he's going to be thrown off, and we've all been there. But then there's wonderful moment. Oh my goodness, you're right, girlfriend of the year material here. Kim Wexler. She wrote the book on being girlfriend of the year. Oh my god, we love Kim Wexler. Not as much as we love Mike. We love Kim Wexler. She just she shows her support by like putting her hand on his leg, and it's like it gives him that charge. It's like, yeah, I can do this. Hooray! It helps him find his confidence, and he just says, to his point, well, the residents are real pack rats. rats. God bless them. They have all the files, and because they don't throw anything out, and maybe we can get some sort of ribbon candy while we're at it too. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. That
Everything's
brings
going well.
room, that kind of lights things up.
And this shows Chuck that maybe I'm not buying into it yet, but maybe
no, I don't think it's just Chuck jack shit anything. I think Chuck is just wanting, like, he is actively looking, for example, Jimmy being bad at his job. That's why he's there.
Yeah, I mean, that is exactly, you're right. It's exactly why he's there. But I'm saying on some level, it's like what you would want Chuck to feel like. Well, maybe he's actually got something, but nope, not at all.
Oh god.
That's what Jimmy deep down would like. I'd like to impress him on some level, even though he's just like, I do not want this guy here. But at some level, deep down, it's like, I want Chuck to just accept me,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so then let's see. After the, we get a really intimidating line after this. So he walks in. Jimmy, just like the shark is calling to him, man. The shark's like, hey, I got free snacks over here. Come on. So he walks over and he says, what are you here for? Well, my name is on the building, Jimmy.
Oh, screw you, man. Screw you.
Howard leaves because he's very uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
He hides it well, but he's very uncomfortable. And then it says, why are you here? And then, this line is silly. Michael McKean, again, when he shows up, he delivers. He does. Mm-hmm. He says, to bear witness.
This you want to slap him, doesn't it?
I know, I gotta tell you, I'm just so intrigued. It's like, oh my god, you have that kind of line when you enter the rooms that intimidatingly, and then you say, to bear witness? I want to know what he says next, but then he's interrupted by a phone call. Just like you could cut the tension with a sword, with a giant katana. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, he's interrupted by a phone call. Like, oh my god, these two guys are about to beat each other senseless, but then he's interrupted by a phone call.
And then Chuck kind of bails because of the phone.
Yeah, that's the thing. Do you think it's like him calling? I'm convinced it's because like the electromagnetism. It's like I have to go.
Yeah, that's what I read out of it.
I would like it to be that because like it's like his safety net. Like this is my
right.
The last second here. It's like I'm warding him off. It's like this
okay,
is like
so
the
Mike
garlic
is
for the vampire.
Mike's on the one on the other end. You're still morally flexible. If so, I might have a job for you.
Where and when? Because he's raring to get out of that place.
Okay.
So
then grab the pie, BlueDragonFive, because we're ready to dive into the best scene of this entire series so far.
And
I want to say,
yes, we're getting there. Also, I like that I like that Slip and Jimmy comes out in that phone call as a rebellion brought on by Chuck. That in a way, it's so sad that he becomes Slip and Jimmy, fully embraces that when just to rebel against Chuck because he's feeding into what Chuck said he was. Even
Definitely.
He's more than that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we get Price, we get Jimmy, we get the
two
cops.
Just two detectives.
What do you think? Is this the best scene in Better Call Saul thus far in its run?
It's a fantastic scene, but I don't know if it's the best scene. We've got many good scenes.
I would definitely say it's like the fucking climax in terms of like comedic highlights. You know what I mean? I definitely think it's the funniest scene of the show so far. I will
say it is the best interrogation scene or best little. I mean, we haven't had 2 minutes. The best interrogation scene there.
I think the one scene that you can definitely say is better than this one is the one that we all love with Chuck and Jimmy confronting each other. Yeah. But other than that, man, I mean, this is just some stellar writing. This really brought me right back to Breaking Bad and those tense moments in the rooms, and then Saul Goodman, just lessening the tension. Anyways, let's get to it.
So these two detectives speak with Price and Jimmy. Mm-hmm. And basically says, we don't need to call a lawyer into things. Well, I'm just here as in a advisory capacity, and just another friendly face. And says, just a little follow up here. We're all friends here. Yeah, let's lose.
Look at us, 4 friends. How nice.
So Price tries waving off the cops, just saying, I don't want to waste your time. He says, no, we just want to tie up loose ends. He goes back and forth like that, and he's just, he says, I found my cards. I hired a private investigator, which, again, this guy's such an idiot.
Oh, God, he is just, like, doing everything in the book wrong.
But
it's like anti-Walter White.
But, a part of you does have to wonder, though, Mike, you should have prompted the guy a little, don't you think? Then again, he is that stupid, though. He is that stupid. So it's a question. Okay. I think Mike prompted him or not, regardless. hired a private investigator, so he's obviously suspicious, and he's flop sweating. It's like obviously this guy's about to crack like a piggy bank. And then he says, I just don't want to bother you guys. And so Jimmy excuses Price out of the room. Why don't you get some coffee outside there? I'll finish things up here. I love this. Okay, guys, let's get down to brass tacks. He's saying, okay, well now the Price is out of the room. Let's get down to the real discussion. Let's do the interview. Really, come on. There's and there's a little Kettleman's reference in this scene, by the way.
Kettleman's. I don't have the thing.
So, well, let me say it. It says, okay, so you found their little hidey hole.
God, right.
Actually, I could be. I mean, on the Kettleman commentary I keep telling you about, they constantly in character kept referencing where they keep the money as their little hidey hole. So that's either referencing Jesus that. Christ. I don't know. I want to say it was referenced in the show, but it was definitely in the Kettleman commentary.
Oh, their little hidey hole.
So remember, it's like them watching and saying, "Oh my God, Mike! This evil bald man's he's gonna find the hidey hole."
The evil bald man.
I like that scary looking bald man's about to find a hidey hole. No, he's not gonna find the hidey hole. Just tell him Troy Killen to shut up. Anyway, so as Jimmy's excuse him, says, "Okay, so you found the little hidey hole and you're a little suspicious. I get that, but we all have secrets. Who among us is without sin? Yeah, he's firing all Saul. Seriously, it's one of the best. I'll give you this. It's one of the best Bob Odenkirk delivered scenes. Definitely comedic. It's the best comedic Bob Odenkirk scene of the season. I'll give you that. Maybe if season 1 also. It's really funny. This feels like classic Mr. Show stuff right here. This is the scene.
Totally.
Anyway, so it says, well, it's private stuff. You're just trying to dance around. It feels really actual.
Very private, sensitive subject, very delicate, and of no concern to law enforcement.
Like he's a drug dealer. No, not drugs. Just very sensitive. It's a personal dispute between him, my client, and an art patron. See, Mr. Wormel, also Price. Mr. Wormel provides art to a wealthy patron of digital media, of a digital variety of digital media, and it's some private artistic
videos.
His private artistic videos. Basically, I love that it cuts periodically the Wormhole, Price on the outside.
Right. It's perfect.
Which pays off fantastically by the end of the scene, by the way. It pays off fantastically. This is, okay, guys, it's a lover's spat. Look, he's just trying everything he can. Do you think it's like him just coming up with it off the cuff, or do you think it's just...
No, absolutely not. I think he thought about it for an hour, and then he got the whole squat cobbler thing in his head and just ran with it.
But the way he delivers this, though, I love how natural it feels. It feels like...
And you know what? I think he's being very intentionally coy. I think he's actually trying to get the cops' curiosity. I don't think he's trying to get the cops off of him at this point. I think he's wanting the cops to perk up and be like, "Oh, well, what the hell is he talking about?"
Jimmy McGill is so smart. He has many safety nets set up here. So again, ideally they'll just let it go. It's okay, it's a private matter. We can kind of fill in the blanks from here. But no, if they keep pushing, though, I definitely have a backup plan. So they have many contingencies. Very clever. So let's see. So something to titillate the senses, not porn, as they say. So porn, no, not porn. It's fetish.
It's a very gray line between porn, but yeah.
It's a fetish video, fully clothed.
Right. Which to me, I don't really get the difference. But
well, no, it's. I'm just saying fetish videos. I think it's just tailored to a specific kind of.
Let's not get it. Yeah, but let's not get into the semantics of porn.
It's like if it's a single person, I guess it's fetish, but that's a guess.
Let's not get into it.
All right, fine.
I want to have right now.
I have a sense that we both have things our own contingency work to have a specific name of stuff somehow.
Oh God.
Okay, so they prod further and basically get at him finally. Squat cobbler. Now, first of all, let me commend
a squat cobbler.
Now, let me just first of all commend the two actors training our cops here. They are fantastic. I love their comedic timing on this scene. So fantastic. I love these detectives. I want them to come back. I just love them so much in this scene. I don't care what the context is. Just bring them back and have this comedic timing. Just do something like this. What? You two are cops and they don't know what a squat cobbler is. He gives them all the nicknames.
A Hoboken squat cobbler, a Hoboken cream pie. A Boston cream splat? A Dutch apple ass?
And I love the sincerity. What's a squat cobbler? It's just one guy.
It's a squat cobbler, guys. Come on. It's a squat cobbler.
Bro, I just love the genuineness on the guy on the left, our left, which is like. Sorry, pies are always funny.
It's a squat cobbler.
Sorry, folks, pies are funny. But
yes, they are, especially when they make a mess.
No, but seriously, there's that one cop on our left who just goes like, "I'm just asking, what's a squat cobbler?" It kind of reminds me almost of like it's not on the same level, but kind of a pie affiliated version of Dylan's. What was that?
What was
that? Okay, anyway, so yeah, squat cobblers is it's the sincerity of which Bob Odenkirk delivers this wins the scene, it wins the season. I don't care what happens after this. It wins the season. It's when a man sits in a pie.
He sits in a pie and
wiggles
around.
Why not just the exasperation on when a man sits in a pie? It's like when
I love this. I love how he mentions like he does a crybaby squat, so there's tears, and I love how there's like a distinction between like a crybaby squat and a regular squat. Like Jimmy McGill's like worked in like all the semantics of this.
Yep, and it's just, when he gets going, it makes him a rare breed. I mean, he's like when he cries, he's like a Julianne Moore.
Oh, God.
Really. And just then they this is the moment here where they give him the look. They look, both the detectives. They just take a look outside the little window. They see Price just drinking his coffee casually.
Oh God!
The comedy writes itself. Just a man sits in a pie and wiggles around. Now, Tiki, I've listened to the Better Call Saul Insider podcast. Okay. Apparently, squat cobbling is a real thing. It's not called that.
I'm surprised whatsoever.
It's called something else, but they couldn't clear it. They couldn't clear the name.
Oh God!
So the squat cobbling is a real thing, but I guess squat cobblers in the community might like the name. I hope they like the name because that'd be people like, oh no, they got it all wrong. So the only time anyone ever mentions this stuff that we're into, the only time they mention they get it wrong. I think
the detectives mention they ask the logical question. Well, what kind of pie? Apple, cream,
the logical question.
There's a costume involved.
Banana, cream, peach, a costume involved. You're kidding. You're kidding.
Yeah, like I would make this up. Sexuality is a rich tapestry, my friends.
The world's a rich tapestry. But don't. It's something you don't want to. Something you don't want to see. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm sorry. This is the moment where they turn again. Like we saw a Price. Then they turn like at the end of the scene. It's like, let's think of this guy. Imagine him in a costume of some kind, sitting in an eye, crying. It's so squishy. I spilled the cherry.
Oh, no. I broke my cherry.
The whipped cream's never gonna come out.
Oh God! Oh God! Okay, now Price outside the police station is like, so we're good, right?
Oh, great. But there's a little hanging Chad.
Oh, God.
Hanging Chad? What does that mean? He says, you're going to have to make a video.
Okay, BlueDragonFive, humor me on this. So I think the best webisode of Better Call Saul ever would be the behind-the-scenes production of this video.
Well, Tiki, I will bet you dollars to donuts. Well, dollars to pie, I should say. I'll bet you dollars to pie. Give me some points here. Give me some visual aid here.
I'm afraid to now. I don't want it to slip again.
Okay, anyway, I will bet you dollars to pie that on the DVD for season 2, we're gonna have that scene.
And you know what the best part would be? Okay, well, let me set it up. So Jimmy is, obviously Price is really shaken by the whole thing. He's really awkward about it. He's not comfortable at all. Jimmy is way too into the directing aspect. Like, he's actually trying to get it technically right, and he's, like, being immature about the whole thing. And who do you have to be the cameraman other than Mike?
Well, no, you don't know. I know who his cameraman is, Tiki. He's not Mike.
Who?
Well, we're going to meet the cameraman in the next episode.
Who's the cameraman?
It's it'll be interesting to see if he mentions the whole pie video, which would be hilarious. So we'll get confirmation on this. In the commentaries they nicknamed the young Stanley Kubrick. Remember the guy who directed the Hero video? cameraman on the Hero in the Hero episode.
No, yeah, kind of.
They call him Kid Kubrick. That's what they nicknamed him.
Okay.
So the point is like the young director kid who was like using the camera.
You're squashing my dreams now because all I can think of is Mike behind the camera.
But seriously, next episode, there's a definite chance that we're gonna get him mentioning, "Oh, maybe shoot that weird pie video."
But seriously, though, how awesome would it be if Mike was somehow had to be there under maybe Mike's holding the boom mic or something.
First of all, I love the simple pun of boom mic.
Boom mic. And he's just like, this is weird. When are we gonna go? I don't like this. I'm very uncomfortable with this whole situation.
I just want to see I want to see. I'm gonna pitch a scene real quick. Here's what's gonna happen. Here's what should happen. So Jimmy's like, it's like cut. It's not against. I'm just not feeling it. And just Jimmy's like, okay, listen. You have to imagine you love pie. It is the dream. It's like baseball, okay? And you've had your card stolen, right? Basically, as he's giving him a pep talk on the bed, basically saying, you sit the crap out of that pie. That's something of a scatological nature. No, you gotta sit in the pie. But as that said, you have Mike Earnshaw on the just rolling his eyes as he's reading this crossword puzzle.
This is so bizarre. I can't believe I'm a part of this.
No, I'm serious. Like while he's just waiting for the next scene, just doing his crossword puzzles like he did in Breaking Bad. Just waiting. It was like, this is what my life's. I'm trying to raise money for my granddaughter. I'm trying to raise money for my granddaughter and her mother, and in the meantime, I'm helping people do pie stuff.
I just love the idea of Jimmy directing Price in that video.
A man's pieing his bottom right in front of me right now. He's pieing his bottom.
Okay, anyways, let's quickly get through the rest of the episode. We don't have much to get.
Oh yeah, it was like the last scene, really.
Oh,
okay.
Right,
so let's see. So pie gags aside, believe there could be a lot of it. You have to make a video. Meanwhile, I just love this cut. This cut cracked me up because at first I thought this is in the midst of shooting it. By the way.
Oh, I did too. I totally did.
We just cut to Jimmy quickly unbuckling pies that have been carefully just a few boxes of pie that have been boxed up and out of the car, and he's going upstairs and says, "Oh my God, he's gonna shoot the video." Then we see it's him and Kim Wexler eating the pies. What would that look like? Him eating the pie?
What?
What would it look like them eating the pie?
Geez,
I'm setting you up. I'm setting you up for the thing.
All right, fine. Jimmy McGill eating the pie would look like this, as if people don't know what eating a pie looks like.
Hey Tiki, let me ask you something. How's that pie?
That's so good. But to do a more accurate Franco impression, it's so good.
If someone could just edit the scene of just Jimmy asking how's the pie, and as he cut the Franco.
I want to do that now, my friend. I want to do that.
Just cutting to him saying so good after you have the whole pie scene in there too, like just saying like the whole it's a squat cobbler.
Oh my God, yes. Just have the scene of the squat cobbler and then cut to Harry. So how's the pie? It's so good. Yes. Oh my God.
Okay, so
YouTube, get on that shit.
So after he unbuckles the pies, we find he and Kim are eating pies. Thankfully, some of the extra ones. As we hinted at last season with the whole toe painting, at the nail salon, they have Jimmy shares his fun stories with her, and she's titillated about, oh my God, it's hilarious. Says, oh, your stories are so awesome. Your job's so fun. Anyway, he wears. I love that she's wearing his American Samoa sweatshirt. By the way,
right.
It's I gotta tell you, Kim Wexler, so seductive, and just all the little things, she really is.
Mm-hmm.
So, not that I want her sitting pie or anything. So. So let's see. As she's wearing a sweatshirt here, so they bought it? Yeah, they bought it. That takes the cake, and then the beat goes by. Kim, seriously, takes the pie. The pie. Tiki. The pie. No, I'm saying
the pie. Yeah.
Well, I didn't need it. I just wanted to put emphasis on pie. I didn't need a visual. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
So pie aside, She's impressed. Everything's going great. You know, funny times, funny times. It's like, Chandler, you're so big. Times all over again.
God, oh God. Oh, give it to me, Chandler. You're such a big boy, Chandler.
Give me the pie, Chandler.
Sit on me, Chandler. Sit and cry on me, Chandler.
Yes, because it's meant for an infant. That's even more funny. Sit on me and cry, Chandler.
Oh God.
Make sure to wiggle around, Chandler.
Yeah, that's exactly what an infant would do with a pie.
Give me the chocolate sauce, Chandler.
Oh no, oh no.
Okay, anyway, so pie aside.
So the thing that kind of brings the conversation to a screeching halt is when Jimmy says that it was the video that clinched it.
Which basically reveals that he had to fabricate that he fabricated evidence, which is a big turnoff for Kim Wexler. So notes for the future, kids: don't fabricate. If you're dating a lawyer of some variety, never fabricate evidence. It's not going to go well. Instead, tell pie stories. Pie stories always work. Pie stories are creamy and good, and you'll find the results are also equal with that.
And then Jimmy's trying to play it off. He's like, "Oh yeah, old Dan really delivered. I believe the tears and the pies are leftover props."
Yeah, so basically she says she can't fathom why he would put, and she makes some very valid points here. She can't fathom why he would put all of his that he would risk it all for a pro bono case for a friend, which is a good point, which I think the writers have pointed out. Well, that's going to be an interesting thing for him to mull over in the future, that Saul Goodman wouldn't do that in the future.
Of course.
Yeah, he wouldn't risk it all for a friend without a profit. So as she mentioned, this could come back to haunt you. He says, no, it's fine. You're playing with fire.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's a valid point. I'm wondering, do you think the pie video is going to come back?
I hope so. I really, really hope so.
Well, do you think just the pie incident's going to come back of saying, yeah, we found out about your pie lie?
I think that's where we're going, honestly. I think by the end of the season, or maybe even by halfway through the season, he's going to get fired from Davidson, Maine.
If we see them actually have a pie video, it'd be a hilarious edit. If we saw Hank and Murray pop in the DVD and they saw Price wiggling around that pie.
And we cut to their horrified reactions.
And just you cut off some lines.
Hank just gets more and more pissed off as it goes.
And then at some point you just cut it off where he just says, Murray!
Oh God.
How could you?
Anyways.
You're having an affair with this pie man. Okay, anyway, so let's see. So basically, after the whole playing with fire, it's not the same. Basically, she points out it's not the same as Ken. It's not the same. Ken didn't wiggle around in pie. No, but seriously though, he risked disbarment if this gets found out. He could actually be disbarred if he fabricated evidence.
Sure.
He says, "Look, Jimmy, and this is where she wins points. Skylar White would milk this for about 8 episodes. She would.
Oh God, yes, she would. Oh my God, this is like a whole season of Skylar White in the form of one scene.
And she wouldn't even eat the pie.
No, she would not.
So, but seriously though, it's it shows you how mature a character Kim Wexler is in comparison to Skylar White. Where she just says, "Look, Jimmy, she takes it in for him when she realizes, oh, Jimmy does feel a little bad about this. He didn't think this through. If I'm just yelling at him, we're not getting anywhere with this conversation." Again, all astute observations Skylar White should have made time and time again throughout the series. Point is, she says, I can't hear about this sort of thing ever again. And again, Jimmy looks like a kid, he's been yelled at by the parent, yeah, I screwed up. I know. Okay. No pie for me.
Oh God.
I'm not mad, but
I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, basically, yeah, that's what I was getting at with the Skylar. She's not mad, right. But she's just not overreacting to Skylar. Just the real emotional end for the episode.
Some people have pointed out, do you think by her telling him, I can't hear about this sort of thing, do you think she's kind of vaguely giving him the green light, go ahead and do it, I just don't want to hear about it? If that's what you're good at, and if that's what drives your career, do it, I just can't hear about it.
think
What do you think?
essentially that's what she's saying, but she doesn't quite realize that's what she's saying. Like she's mentioning that.
I think that choice of words is going to come back to haunt her for sure.
Yeah, it's that she says, look, I just can't know about it. She thinks that's okay for the moment. She's going to realize, well, yeah, man, I do care about this guy, and he's putting himself in jeopardy. So that's going to weigh on me over time. And then she'll realize, yeah, my choice of words is very poor in that case.
Totally. The Joker can come out and just mock her and just be like, very poor choice of words. Oh.
But seriously, good beat to end the episode on, though.
Definitely. All right, we don't have a lot of time, so really quick, next week the title is Armadillo. We're going to Texas. Looks like they're shooting a TV commercial.
With Kid Kubrick.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. McGill.
I love that so much. I love that it's her. I love it's on the little sterile thing. I just love the classiness of that line.
I love Jimmy in kind of like the Texan cowboy getup.
Yeah, they borrowed Hank Schrader's hat from the wedding photo.
We see the veterinarian guy talking to Mike like, next level pay, you need to do next level work.
So you know who that guy kind of reminds me of? He kind of reminds me of Sam Ridley, who loved pie, and he said the rose. Oh, your pie was a me. Which again, someone can just edit that to it's like he's talking to David Wormel.
And of course, next level work in the back of my mind. I'm like, Gus Fring.
Yes.
And then I think the last shot we end on is Howard. Jimmy's like kind of like having a little bit of a panic attack or stage fright at the very least. And Howard's like, Jimmy, you still with us?
And just Chuck just still wigging him out. I think just Chuck's just ominously entering that room at random points in the day just to mess with him, just to throw him off. Screw up so you get fired.
Okay, so.
Also, big thing, this is a recent detail that came out, not in the promo, but Stacey Ermintrout's going to have troubles, which will necessitate the next level work.
Okay, I can see that.
So it's going to be an effort to help Stacey.
Right. I don't really have a ton of spec. I'm just kind of enjoying where this season's going, and I'm kind of just down for the ride. The only real thing I have to speculate on is like, what is this next level pay sort of thing going to be a tie into Gus?
I think long run, yes. The only thing I think we should really speculate on, the only thing really we should really dedicate any time to is like the Tuco stuff, which we kind of touched on already. But do you think Tuco? Do you think that he's actually going to show up this season? Do you think he's just going to be the looming threat?
I absolutely think he's going to show up at some point this season, but I think they're going to very much play him close to the vest. And like you said, he is going to be a looming threat. I'd be shocked if he didn't show up at one point, though.
Something I think I was getting at, I don't know if I think it was while you were doing the Mike Ermintrout chart for the people. I think Tuco may. I think if they're going to do anything with Tuco this season, at the end of it, it might be like him transitioning, like him learning about Nacho's stuff and him becoming addicted to meth.
That is definitely something we need to see on the show. I think we need to see the death of his Amelita.
Oh yeah, well, I'd definitely give him the meth if Nacho's
for sure.
It's one of two things. It's definitely gonna do it. I think we're just, again, pie thing was the main thing. We already speculated on that. Yeah, I think it's good for speculation for now.
Okay, and final thoughts. I honestly think this is probably like right up there, probably in my top 3 of the whole series thus far. I thought this was a really, really compelling episode.
Well, I think I still agree with my original statement on this one, that the pilot, actually not pilot, the first episode of this season felt like kind of like the as you said, an epilogue to episode 10. It's kind of like, this is like basically setting up things for the season. Like, we need this episode. It's like kind of like boxing the season up really nicely for us. It's like, okay, you're gonna open this as like, remember this is in season 1. This is where we literally left off. This is like getting this place where we get a little bit of glimpse of Gene, which may or may not pay off. And this episode is like kind of the first, like, it's in its own show now. That was like kind of like the little bit taste of Breaking Bad with the Gene stuff. It's kind of like a mandatory introductory thing that still works and still is good, but it's like kind of mandatory to the show folks. Say, don't forget to check out this season. It's still Breaking Bad, but it's also all the Better Call Saul you remember from the first season. Now we're just into what they're doing second season right now.
Definitely.
And I thought it was paid out very well. It was very, very funny, very great, very character driven. Jonathan Banks was fantastic this episode, and
of course, like, I think the Squatch Cobbler scene is going to go down as one of the most memorable Saul Goodman scenes in history.
Well, here's the big question about the last thing we can really talk about. The last thing about the Cobbler. Do you think it tops the Bingo Chicago Sunroof? Because that's essentially what this scene is.
Oh, yeah, that is definitely.
See, that's the question, because that one has a lot of drama
Oh,
to
that's
it.
that's a hard one. I'm like on instinct just because it's newer. I want to say yes, it does top it, but
One is like
that's a
hilariously
tough one.
throughout comedic. The other one is like one's purely comedic. The other one is comedic, but also has many layers to it. It's very complex.
Right. I think the price one, yeah, you're right. The price one is definitely more comedic, and the it's kind of unfair to compare the two because like the one that you're mentioning happened right at the end of the season, and it's when Jimmy's stress level was at an all-time high.
But oddly enough, kind of the same, coming from the same point of Genesis there. Just kind of like, it's starting from like a scene about like an obscure odd tradition of some kind.
Okay. All right. So are we done? Are we done?
Yeah. Wait. Phone call. We need to call our lawyer so we can get him out of our squat cobbler situation.
Oh God. Oh God.
I wonder whatever he'll say. What do we do? What do we say? Who do we call?
Okay. Hold on. I got the situation.
Hello, hola, ya'ate. You called Saul. You've reached the offices of Saul Goodman and Associates, your one-stop shop for all things law. If they accuse you of Breaking Bad, better call Saul. If you're currently under arrest or in custody, follow my 3 patented rules. 1, keep your mouth shut. 2, keep your mouth shut. 3, don't make eye contact with anyone in a holding cell unless you're looking to make a love connection. Visit my website for more free advice. Better call Saul.com. The solution to your problem is just minutes away. If your call is important to us, please continue to hold. Drug felonies, press 1. DUI, press 2. Slip and fall on government property, press 3. Illegal animal smuggling, press 4. Unreasonably hot fast food beverage accidents, press 5. Wayfair 515 victims, press 6. To continue this message in Tagalog, press star. If your call is important to us, please continue to hold. What, you can't let you hold anymore? You running out of quarters? And if you're going to drink bad, you got to be prepared. For more free legal advice, head to my website, bettercallsaul.com.
All right. Well, that's all for now. We'll be taking a temporary leave of absence until next time.
Remember, kids, when you get that phone call, make it count. Better call Saul. Saul Goodman Associates is your one-stop shop for all your legal needs.
And with that, we are adjourned. Totally be the lawyers. Totally be the lawyers.
Totally.
Oh, what am I doing here? This is all dumb. This guy's rolling in the pie. This is freaky. I'm Mike. I don't like being in this situation.